So we're here in Grafton, West Virginia, and again, it's on US 50, and I'm talking with Cookie and Amanda. This is Cookie's store, and I just want to talk a little bit about small town America, and specifically Grafton, and her experience running this store. So, ladies, thank you for joining us on this video.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sure.
So tell us a little bit about Grafton.
Oh my goodness. Well, Grafton at one time, it's a very old town. One time in the late 1800s to 1900s, this was a very bustling town because it was we're a big railroad city, and the B&O railroad station is here. And I don't know if you noticed the big Willard Hotel down there and the B&O station down there. It's big, beautiful buildings. And at one time, the hotel was gorgeous and housed a lot of the railroaders that would come through here out of town, and they'd stay there. The town, like I say, is very old, but once the railroad left Grafton, then that's when things started to kind of go down a little bit, you know.
Right.
It's also a kind of a low socioeconomic area in some areas, you know, not all areas of Grafton are, but we've maintained, I mean, we keep going. My shop I opened up in July this past year because I moved here from California when I was 4 years old. And have lived here ever since, and of course, so this is my town.
Right.
You know, this is my hometown where I grew up at.
Yeah. So tell us, population-wise, what's Grafton? Do you know, have an idea?
God, I think there's about 16,000, maybe at the most.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
In the town. But of course, a lot of people have moved away because of the job, market being not so good, especially since the railroad, left.
Right. So that was a primary way of people getting income,
it was the
et cetera.
railroad. So everybody you knew at one time or another, knew somebody or somebody in their family worked at the railroad.
What about young people? Do you have a problem with brain drain or not so much? Or
with keeping them around here?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, when the railroad was up and moving, a lot of people worked at the railroad, and the younger people got jobs at the railroad. But now that it's gone, yeah, they have trouble,
Right.
They
It's a common thing for small towns.
Right, it is a common thing. So they have to, go out of town, which is, we're surrounded by, some major cities, the Bridgeport area and Morgantown, West Virginia, we're the home of the Mountaineers,
So without the railroad, how are people making a living here on a general basis?
A lot of
some
people,
tourism or?
Definitely some tourism, yeah. We have a beautiful lake called Tigert Lake. And we have that, and we have a lot of times people, like I say, work out of town. Like we have a lot of nurses travel to Morgantown, Bridgeport, other areas, work in the medical fields.
Well, would you classify yourself as a bedroom community, or not so much? Are you getting some remote workers here, and
some what?
Remote? They're working online and they're living here and working someplace else.
Oh yes, we do have that now since. COVID hit. We do have a lot of people who do work from home, and that's still happening. But like I say, a lot of them from out of town are working out of town because we don't have any more factories here like we used to. So
if it was going to get on a good trajectory, what would you like to see happen here? What would be the key formula, I guess, for economic revitalization?
Well, one of the reasons why I opened up this store was to bring back to Grafton, to try to start up another business. Because we used to, this town, like I said, was great. Back even in the 60s, 70s when I was growing up, we had a lot of shops.
Right.
And then over the years, they started to fade out and close. And so, I've always wanted to give back, and I'm a big crafter, and so my building is called Cookie's Old, New, and Handmade too, which the old are some antiques. I have antiques, and new are my wholesale items that I order. Plus, I have about 20 some vendors that hand make things also. So, and I try to get as many people from in town as my vendors because I want to support them. Like one of my Amanda here, one of my special vendors.
Thank you for joining us. And the small town culture, what do you think there? People, good community vibe here? And
yes,
people want to see success?
Yes, absolutely, we do. Except for, in the city, I think we could get a little more help from our city council and things like that. But it just seems like I feel like with me being here now, we've got a bookstore getting ready to open up this summer. So I feel like we're smoldering and we're trying to make a comeback, and so I know this is something I've always wanted to do in this town. So
way to go.
I'm trying it, and the community has been so wonderful and supportive.
Yep.
and
You've
and
got a really nice shop
we're
here.
thank you. We're
Yeah.
doing really well.
Leadership is so critical, and it doesn't need to come from city council or the
Absolutely.
mayor.
Right.
It can come from citizens
Yes.
stepping up to the plate.
Absolutely.
And obviously doing that. Do you have camaraderie with other people starting stores downtown?
Oh,
or-
absolutely. We
Mhm.
all, like we've all talked, several of businesses that are still open, we're all here to help each other.
Yeah.
And when someone comes to my shop, a lot of times, if they're, especially in the summer, if there's a lot of people, I say, you need to go over to visit our other shops too, and they do the same things for us.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we all try to help each other because, we're all we have.
Right.
But I also learned being in business, because this is my first time, is we will not survive unless the community supports us. Somebody has to support us in order for us to stay open,
Yeah.
So, and being a retired teacher, like I said, I don't do this 5 days a week, 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm retired. I'm just kind of doing this as
Right.
a side thing for, because I enjoy it.
Right. And one of the things Small City Forum we're focused on is local solutions, and I think you hit a key point that is transferable to other communities, which is supporting each other.
Right.
And making that work. And
Yes.
if you've got local supporting and then you have some other people coming on the outside, that can work financially
Absolutely.
and viable.
Absolutely.
So
That's one nice thing about our little town is everybody cares about each other.
Mhm.
We do. Everybody cares about each other,
Yeah.
and we try to help each other.
Yeah.
That's.
So you have a long history. West Virginia, of course, was very much involved with the Civil War,
Yes.
and that was the case at other locations as well that we've
Yes.
stopped at. That Civil
Yes.
War,
Right.
160 years ago, is still having an impact on things today as far as how people view
Absolutely.
it.
Oh,
So,
well, you bringing that up. This building right beside us said they housed was the headquarters for General McClellan.
Oh,
when he
really?
Came through.
Mhm.
He had a headquarters here.
Yep.
And some Civil War soldiers were over there, and they also said it was like a little makeshift hospital at one point.
Mhm.
But that's and that's the thing about Grafton. These buildings are very, very, very old.
Yeah, I can see.
A lot of historical buildings and areas around here.
Mhm.
We also have the Mother's Day Shrine.
Mhm.
We also have the person who created the Mother's Day.
Mhm.
Her home is out in Webster, a little
Oh,
area
wow.
right out the
Yeah.
street.
Yeah.
And so we have the Mother's Day Shrine. We have two national cemeteries in Grafton.
Wow.
So this is a very big, old historical town.
Yeah, and those national cemeteries are from the Civil War era, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
understand.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah, the other one we were at was Romney, and Stonewall Jackson
Yes.
had some stuff going on there,
Mhm.
et cetera,
Yes.
et cetera. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, other communities, is there anything that you would say you think you're struggling with things just like other small towns are? The infrastructure is the big thing as far
Absolutely.
as making sure that that's fresh, and even if
Yes.
it's old, it needs to be fresh.
Well, of course we are to an extent because some of the other towns near us are bigger and of
Mhm.
course have a bigger infrastructure
Right.
and more funds to work with
Yeah.
and more help, I believe. But so that's a little bit of
Yeah.
a
Getting capital into small towns is always
Yes.
difficult.
Yes.
Are many of the buildings owned locally, or are there people on the outside that own them? And,
Some are owned locally, like me. We own this building ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the buildings that are here are people from out of state
uh-huh.
that own them.
Right, and that becomes difficult
That
because they
is.
don't have the connection to the
Right,
community, and
right. And
I think I've seen that a number of places at this point.
a lot of
so-
state people own the buildings, and they don't come in and do anything to take
Right.
care of them or
Right.
do whatever with them. So some of them are getting pretty dilapidated.
Yep.
But
Yep.
other than that, yeah.
Yep. But obviously, it's home. And you enjoy living here,
Yes.
and it appears to be a great place with community.
It
so,
is. Well, about almost heaven, West Virginia, right?
Yes,
I think this is our own little piece of
Yeah.
heaven right here.
Well, I'm from Colorado, and John Denver is a big part of
Oh,
that.
I love John Denver.
Yeah, exactly. So we have camaraderie there across the US 50,
Yes,
which goes all the way to
absolutely.
my town as well.
Yes.
But yeah, I was a big John Denver fan all my
Oh
life.
gosh,
So,
yes, absolutely.
but you're right. I hadn't even thought about that. Of course, we probably both have state songs by Denver, because I think the one that you just made reference to is West Virginia's
Yes.
state song, and
And you have one
Rocky
from-
Mountain High is
Yes.
Colorado's.
Yes.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, John.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
Yep. Well,
Absolutely.
Cookie, I appreciate you taking time with us. And again, you've got a lovely store.
Thank you.
And we're going to put this up on Small City Forum. And I'll send you a link if you want to give me your
great.
business card.
Sure.
And we'll make
Yeah.
sure that you get access to this.
Oh,
so
that would be
thank you.
wonderful.
Appreciate
Thank
it very
you so much. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Very nice meeting you guys.
Same thing.
Thank you. Please come back.
Okay.